Well, hello, and thank you so much for clicking on this video to check it out. Today is how to stop bookkeeping mistakes. And first of all, to err is human and to forgive is divine, but we'd rather mistakes didn't happen in the first place because they're so frustrating. Usually we don't even know that they were made until your accountant tells you that there was a mistake made, or perhaps there was a payroll issue. So first of all, I just want to go into define what a bookkeeping mistake might look like. Well, first of all, there's coding errors. Now, what's a coding error? A coding error is where the bookkeeper has put an expense or a line item on the bank and they've put it to the wrong expense account or the wrong income account, or they've treated the GST wrong on it in some way, shape or form. So these can be very frustrating for you because it looks like you've overspent on telephone on 1 month but underspent on the next month. You're just never sure whether things are really in the right spot or not. Payroll issues. So payroll issues, your staff, if you short pay them, they will tell you straight away. If you overpay them, they may be a bit slower. But of course, that has both ends, has a great impact on the business, and it's really important not to make payroll mistakes at all. And payables is the other thing. So sometimes you can pay an invoice, a supplier invoice twice. So if the bookkeeper keys it up to pay twice, that's no good. Or if the bookkeeper pays a different invoice than you wanted to, or a different supplier, a different invoice. So these are all problems that a bookkeeper can cause and make those mistakes. The other thing they can do is they can have, if you're getting them to do invoicing for you, they can be putting the wrong amounts on invoices, and they can be putting different codes, and that'll cause customer issues with your end customers who are saying, well, we're not going to pay this because it's the wrong invoice, etc. So something that's very problematic for a business is those kinds of bookkeeping mistakes. So how do you fix it? Well, 2 words: internal controls. Boring. Okay, so what internal controls are? They're just systems that we put in place to make sure that things like this don't happen. So, for example, for coding, we need someone to review the profit and loss and balance sheet after that coding has been done, just to make sure it still all makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then you can individually look at the transactions that were miscoded, and you can do a find and recode in many cases and easily correct that. For payroll, they're vital for the business owner or the person who's in charge of payroll before it goes to the bank and gets paid out to the employees. Now, this means things like timesheets, overtime, long service leave, annual leave, all that sort of sick leave. They need to be reviewed by the business owner on every frequency of pay. The reason for that is because you just do not want to get it wrong. It isn't. You're doing a very important review process. If you're checking, then you're going to make the mistake. Let the bookkeeper do the payroll, and then you should review it. Sorry, that's payroll. Payables, your accounts payable, creditors, payments. You need to check and review the suppliers that are being paid and make sure that that's in the expectations. So if you think, well, this is a minor supplier, but I'm paying them $10,000, then that might be worth a question to your bookkeeper. And to err is human. Sometimes bookkeepers will make mistakes. They'll get something that might have already been paid. They shouldn't make those mistakes, but they do. So it's very vital that you check those payment files before you just let the bookkeeper upload them into the bank and pay them. Because it's much easier to not pay the money than to get the money back. Essentially, you cannot delegate financial accountability. You can delegate the responsibility for your day-to-day financial management, and that's something that financial fanatics are very proud of taking care of for our clients. They've delegated responsibility to us to do the day-to-day work, but you're still accountable for it. So you can't delegate that accountability. You need to make sure that things are not right. So in Financial Fanatics, we have a built-in review process. So our lead bookkeepers are not the ones who are preparing the payroll files. They're not the ones who are making the payment files for payables, and they're not the ones that are doing the coding. They have a team to do that, and they review it. Therefore, you've got a built-in review mechanism with our kind of arrangement, and we strongly suggest that for anyone who has an external bookkeeper to your organization, that you have some sort of built-in review process, but that you also check at your end as well. That's all for today. I'm Scott Trevethan from Financial Fanatics, and if you need any assistance with your bookkeeping, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll be happy to discuss it with you. All the best.